Now it is the 11th video lesson, and the topic of our lesson now is derivative. Derivative. The derivative. 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 Derivative in Azari teoreme, in Russian is производная. 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 According to the condition, according to the definition of derivative, derivative is equal to the limit when increment of argument tends to 0 of the ratio increment of the function and increment of the argument. That is f prime of x. It is read as f prime. F prime of x is the limit when t tends to 0 of f of x plus t minus f of x over t, when t tends to 0. It is the definition of the derivative, prime. It is read as prime, f prime of x. Here t is delta x is named the increment of argument, the argument increment. Increment is increment in Azeri artım. In Russian приращение. Argument is argument in Azeri and argument in Russian. Argument is a free variable, that is сорбостоящая, независимая переменная, independent variable. But f of x plus t minus f of x is denoted as delta f is the function increment. Function increment, and it is delta f. It is function increment. Then using the definition of the derivative, find the derivatives of several functions. Now consider the first example. Example 1. Find the derivative of function. Find the derivative of the given function. By the definition. Definition in Azeri is tarif, and in Russian is определение. dizilince. Nazar it is tarife göre töremeni, fonksiyonun verilmiş fonksiyon töremesini tapın. In Russian, найти производную данной функции по определению. Let f of x is 1 over 2x plus 3. Find the derivative of this function only by definition according to the condition. Solution. We have the expression of f of x is 1 over 2x plus 3 according to the condition. Now we must obtain also the expression for the function, for the value of function f of x plus t. F of x plus t. For this, we must substitute x plus t instead of x. Here, 1 over 2 multiplied by x plus t plus 3 equals 1 over 2x plus 2t plus 3. It is the expression of the f of x plus t. Then use the definition of derivative f prime of x. I'm sorry. Right. 1 over 2x plus 3 prime equals, it is f of x, f prime of x equals limit when t tends to 0, f of x plus t minus f of x over t. It is definition of the derivative, and use this definition for finding the derivative of the given function. Equals also already we have the expression f of x according to condition, and then we obtain the expression for the f of x plus t. Limit when t tends to 0, substitute expression of for f of x plus t 1 over 2x plus 2t plus 3 minus 1 over 2x plus 3 divided by t. Then continue. Then reduce the numerator to the common denominator. Limit when t tends to 0, divided by t. Here we have the common denominator. Common denominator is the product of the given denominators. X plus 3 minus 2x plus 2t plus 3. The reduction to the common denominator, it is in azali ortak məxrəcə gətirilmə, in Russian приведение к общему знаменателю. Then continue. Then continue. Now the numerator of denominator transferred to the general denominator, and open parentheses in the numerator of numerator equals limit when t tends to 0, 2x plus 2t plus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 3 multiplied by t Then here, you know that the here 2x plus 3 are deleted, and we have only minus 2t. Minus 2t. Then we can simplify by t, numerator and denominator. Then we have limit when t tends to 0, minus 2 over 2x plus 2t plus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 3. Here t tends to 0, it means we must substitute 0 instead of t here, t, and therefore it is 0. Then we have limit when t tends to 0, minus 2 over 2x plus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 3 is 2x plus 3 squared. This expression is the constant value with respect to t, because there isn't t, and therefore it is constant value with respect to t, because this expression doesn't depend on t. But limit of the constant value is the constant value itself, therefore we will obtain the answer minus 2 over 2x plus 3 squared. It is answer. Derivative of our function is minus 2 over 2x plus 3 squared. Then go to the second example. Example 2. Find the derivative. The derivative of the function by definition. F of x is square root of 2x minus 5. Solution. By definition, solution. Already we have the expression for the function f of x, and we must obtain then the expression for the value function at the x plus t. That is, we must find f of x plus t. For this, we must substitute x plus t instead of x in the root expression. It is root expression. Root expression. Root expression. What is root expression? In Azeri it is kök altı ifade, in Russian подкоренное выражение. Square root of 2 multiplied by x plus t minus 5. And it is equal to square root of 2x plus 2t minus 5. Or square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t. It is expression of the function f of x plus t. Then already we can use the definition of the derivative. Square root of 2x minus 5 prime equals f prime of x equals the limit when t tends to 0, f of x plus t minus f of t t equals, it is the definition of derivative, and substitute the corresponding expressions instead of f of x plus t and f of t. I'm sorry, f of x. F of x. Now must write f of x. F of x equals limit when t tends to 0 f of x plus t. F of plus t is this root, square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t minus f of x here, according to condition, square root of 2x minus 5 divided by t. Then substitute 0 instead of t. If substitute 0 instead of t, we'll obtain square root of 2x minus 5 minus square root of 2x minus 5 will be 0 and 0 over 0. And therefore we obtain the indeterminate form of type 0 over 0. For evaluation of indeterminate form, we must multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugation of numerator. Conjugation, what is conjugation? In Azeri it is koshma, in Russian сопряжение. Limit when t tends to 0, it is numerator, multiply numerator and denominator by conjugation of numerator. Conjugation of numerator is expression square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5. 2x minus 5 minus 2t minus square root of 2x minus 5 multiplied by its conjugation. Conjugation is square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5. And also multiply the denominator by the conjugation of numerator. Multiply by the square root of 2x minus 5 minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5 square root minus 5. Close parenthesis and continue. The numerator will be limit when t tends to 0 square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t squared minus square root of 2x minus 5 squared divided by t multiplied by square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5 minus 5. Then limit when t tends to 0, it is 2x minus 5 plus 2t minus 2x minus 5. Then t multiplied by square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5 equals. Here the 2x minus 5 and minus 2x minus 5 are deleted, are deleted. Then we have only 2t in the numerator. Limit when t tends to 0, 2t over t multiplied by square root 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5. Then we can simplify numerator and denominator by t, and finally we have limit when t tends to 0, 2 over square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2t plus square root of 2x minus 5. Then substitute 0 instead of t. Therefore 2t can be changed by 0. Then we have limit, we have 2 over square root of 2x minus 5 plus square root of 2x minus 5 equals 2 over 2 square root of 2x minus 5. Then we can simplify numerator and denominator by 2, and finally we have 1 over square root of 2x minus 5. It is our answer. The derivative of the function square root of 2x minus 5 is 1 over square root of 2x minus 5. Now let's consider the derivative formulas for the finding the derivatives by formulas. First, consider the first table, named the table of the simple function derivatives. The table of the simple function derivatives. Simple function derivatives. Nazariyet sade funksiyaların türemeleri cedveli, table, cedvel. In Russian, таблица производных простых функций. Table и таблица. First formula. The derivative of the constant value is 0. C prime is 0. Here C is constant. Derivative of constant is 0. Second formula. Derivative of the power function. X to m prime is n multiplied by x to n minus 1. It is power function, derivative of the power function. And here we can give also the particular cases for the derivative of the power function. The formula to a x prime is 1. Here we can prove this formula using the general formula of the power function derivative. We can consider the proof of this formula. proof. X is x raised to 1. I'm sorry. First write x prime equals x to 1 prime. Here n is 1, and substitute 1 instead of n in this formula. 1 multiplied by x to 1 minus 1 equals 1 multiplied by x to 0. X raised to 0 is also 1. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And also we can prove this formula by definition. By definition, right here, by definition. F of x is x, then f of x plus t is x plus t. Because here x plus t is substitute instead of x. Then x prime is f prime of x equals limit when t tends to 0 of x plus t minus f of x over t. It is the definition of the derivative function, of the derivative. Then substitute obtained expressions, limit when t tends to 0. F of x plus t is x plus t minus f of x is x divided by t. Here x and minus x are deleted, then we have t over t. Limit t over t when t tends to 0. T over t is 1. Limit of 1 when t tends to 0, and it is 1. We proved this formula by two methods. We solve the formula of the power function derivative and also by definition. Then consider the second particular case for the power function derivative, 2b. X squared prime is 2x. We can prove this formula by the general formula of power function derivative. Proof. Here x squared prime, then substitute 2 instead of n in the general formula. 2 multiplied by x raised to 2 minus 1, 2 multiplied by x raised to 1, and 2x. And also we can prove this formula by definition of derivative. By definition now, prove by definition. Here f of x is x squared, and f of x plus t is x plus t squared. Here we substitute x plus t instead of x. Then it is equal to x squared plus 2xt plus t squared. Then use the definition of the function derivative. X squared prime equals f prime of x limit when t tends to 0 f of x plus t minus f of x over t. It is definition of derivative equals limit when t tends to 0, f of x plus t is this function x squared plus 2xt plus t squared minus f of x is x squared over t. Then here x squared and minus x squared are deleted. Then we have limit when t tends to 0, 2xt plus t squared over t. Then here we can divide numerator by denominator term by term. Term by term is head by head bölme in Azeri. In Russian, почленно, term by term. Now right here, term by term. Term by term. In Azeri it is head by head, head by head, head by head. In Russian, почленно. Почленно. Limit when t tends to 0, we have 2x plus t. Then substitute 0 instead of t, then we'll have 2x. Our formula is proved. Then write the rest of the particular formulas for the derivative of the power function, simple power function. 2c, formula 2c, 1 over x prime is minus 1 over x squared. It is the third particular formula for the simple power function derivative. Proof. 1 over x is x raised to minus 1. 1 over x prime equals x raised to minus 1 prime, and substitute minus 1 instead of n in the general formula. Minus 1 multiplied by x raised to minus 1 minus 1 equals minus 1 multiplied by x to minus 2, and it is minus 1 over x squared. And finally write the last particular formula, 2d, square root of x prime is 1 over 2 square root of x. And prove also this formula. Proof. Square root of x is x raised to 1 second. X raised to 1 second equals then instead 1 second substitute 1 second instead of n in the general formula. 1 second multiplied by x to 1 second minus 1 equals multiplied by x raised to minus 1 second equals 1 second multiplied by 1 over x to raised to 1 second, and then we'll obtain 1 over 2 square root of x. Then write the next formulas. 3 sine x prime is cosine x. Fourth formula, cosine x prime is minus sine x. Then fifth formula, tangent x prime is 1 over cosine squared x. And sixth formula, cotangent x prime is minus 1 over sine squared x. Then continue write the table of the simple function derivatives. Seventh formula, derivative of exponential function. Exponential function in Azeri is üslü function. In Russian is показательная функция. Derivative function of the exponential function. A to x prime is a raised to x multiplied by natural logarithm of a. It is the of the general exponential function, and its particular case 7a, e raised to x prime is, if substitute e instead of a, you know that the natural logarithm of e is unit, and therefore it is simply e raised to x. E raised to x is the unique function whose derivative is equal to itself. Unique function raised e to x. It is natural exponential function. Then eighth formula, derivative of logarithmic function. Logarithmic on a of x prime. It is 1 over x multiplied by natural logarithm of a. And its particular form, if a is e. 8a natural logarithm of x prime, because you know that the natural logarithm is the logarithm with respect to base e. And natural logarithm of e is 1. Therefore, we will obtain simply 1 over x. Then, ninth formula, arcsine x prime is 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. Tenth formula, arcosine x prime is minus 1 over 1 square root of 1 minus x squared. Then 11th formula, arctangent x prime is 1 over 1 plus x squared. And 12th formula, cotangent t x prime is minus 1 over 1 plus x squared. Then continue. Further, consider next table the differentiation rules table. The table of the differentiation rules. Differentiation rules. What is differentiation? Differentiation is Azeri diferansiyellama, diferansiyellama. In Russian, дифференцирование. But what is the differentiation in general? Differentiation is the process of the finding the derivative. Now, right here, the differentiation, differentiation is the process, is the operation, of the derivative finding. In other words, it is diferansiyallama teoremenin tapılması əməlidir. In Russian, differentiation это действие по нахождению производной. Then now write the corresponding formulas. Differentiation of sum is the sum. Derivative of the sum is the sum of derivatives. U plus v prime is u prime plus v prime. Also, the derivative of the difference is the difference of derivatives. U minus v prime is u prime minus v prime. Derivative of the product is defined by the following formula. U multiplied by v prime is u prime multiplied by v plus u multiplied by v prime. Here we will have the three particular cases. 3a. The constant factor can be taken out of the derivative symbol. That is, in other it is sabit vuruğu теорема işareti характерын çıkarmalı. In Russian, постоянное множество может быть вынесен за знак производной. The constant factor can be taken out of the derivative symbol. C multiplied by u prime is simply c multiplied by u prime. Here c is constant factor. C is constant. Then 3b. Derivative of the linear expression is equal to simply the slope kx plus b prime is simply k. Here k is named slope. Slope is in other k slope. It is slope. Translation of the word slope is azari meyil, in Russian naklon. But here k is slope, in azari it is here buçak emsalı, in Russian is угловой coefficient slope. And finally write the derivative for the product with the three factors. 3c u multiplied by v multiplied by w prime equals u prime multiplied by v multiplied by w plus u multiplied by v prime multiplied by w plus finally u v w prime. W prime. Then continue. Continue writing the derivative formula, fourth formula, derivative of ratio is defined by the following formula. U over V prime is equal to U prime multiplied by V minus U multiplied by V prime over V squared. And it's right then its particular case, 2a, the derivative of the fractional linear function ax plus b over cx plus d prime is equal to determinant of second order a, b, c, d over cx plus d squared. It is fractional linear function. Fractional linear function. In other it is кесарь хатты функция, in Russian дробная линейная функция. It is already we learned two tables. The first table is named the table of simple function derivatives, and second table is named the table of the differentiation rules. Now write homework. Find the derivatives. Of the given functions, of the following functions, only by definition. Still only by definition. Then next lesson we will find the derivatives by formulas, by the table of derivative formulas. f of x is x cubed. F of x is cube root of x. F of x is sine x, and fourth formula, f of x is cosine x, which is your homework. Thank you for your attention. Good luck. Goodbye, students.